So, guys, as we get this kicked off, we are super excited that Vanessa is going to be joining us, coming all the way from the West Coast, coming to bring the East Coast some of that West Coast energy. Vanessa, I see that you are on here, right? Let me see if I can.
Hey.
I see you. I'm trying to just spotlight you right quick. Give me a second. I will see if I can add spotlight to you. Okay, got it right there. Okay, so guys, as we go ahead and get this kicked off, Vanessa, we appreciate your time. We're excited to get all the nuggets from you. The ladies that are on this call today, I literally went to every partner that I knew that wanted to win and invited them very intimately, said, listen, we have a leader that's in Primerica, over $300,000 of income. She's a wife, she's a mother, she takes no excuses. And Vanessa, we're excited to hear about your background. And obviously, we're not going to waste your time. These leaders are serious. These are people who are taking time away from their kids and from their families to learn from you. And I did see that you are looking to go to SVP here shortly. And these are our soon-to-be regional vice presidents. So we're super excited. I'm going to go and give you the spotlight, and the floor is yours, my friend. Just give me a second. Add this. Let's see. Replace spotlight. You got to be careful over here. The men don't completely know what we're doing, everything when it comes to technology. So Vanessa, we appreciate your time.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
You are loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Well, hi, ladies. And thank you so much, Miguel, for asking me to speak. It's definitely an honor. Anytime anybody asks us to speak, we just feel very appreciated. And obviously, just to think that you trust me with these ladies for me to share this information, so definitely thank you so much. And hi, ladies. My name is Vanessa Solorzano. Yes. Hi, Erica. Right. Hi, Ashley, Jade, right. Brittany, and Bates, right, and Sushama. I hope I said that okay. But I just wanted to definitely say hi personally, and I'm super excited to give you some hope, okay? So I am not an overnight success, but I'm going to go through my story, and I'm going to share some slides, if that's okay with you guys, because I always say, a picture says 1,000 words, right? And I'm just, just like anybody else, I always say, look, if we can do it, anybody else can do it. And I'm obviously going to tell you guys, as a mother and as a wife and as a sister, as a daughter, right? We play a lot of roles, right? And I'm excited to say that you can have it all. That's one of the things that attracted me to the business, is that I didn't have to sacrifice one thing for the other, right? I can have it all here. And that's what's exciting about this business, you guys. So let me go ahead and share my screen. But Miguel, it says to ask you to disabled or able, right, for me to share the screen.
I'm in the process of trying to make you a co-host. Give me a second. Let me see.
Okay, so the way you do it is, you see where it says share screen. On the right hand side, there's going to be a little small arrow. You click on that, and then you put all participants.
Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Try that. Did that work?
Okay, let me try. Yep, perfect.
Perfect. Told you. I don't always know what I'm doing.
Okay, and you guys can see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so here we go, ladies. So I definitely want to breathe some belief and some hope. Okay, so as you guys know, my name is Vanessa Solorzano. My partner, my husband, my best friend, his name is Max. If you guys would want to follow me on Instagram, you're more than welcome to. I will follow you back. I am definitely just so honored and privileged to, be in Primerica, right? So let me tell you guys where we come from. So this is Max and I, you guys. This is actually when we were 16 years old. So Max and I have actually been together since high school. We've been together since we were 14 years old. This year actually will mark 20 years of us being together. Crazy, right? 2 decades. So we met in high school, literally freshman year. That's when we started dating. We joined Primerica when we were 22 years old, you guys. We were babies, right? We didn't know nothing about nothing. I used to work at Bank of America. So as soon as I graduated high school, actually during high school, I was at Bank of America. I've been there since I was 17 years old. So they paid for my college, and that was the only reason why I was there. I hated my job. I was there for 5 years, but they told me if I had a B plus or better, they would pay for my college. So I stayed there. My husband, he used to work at a warehouse. Now, the reason why he used to work at a warehouse is because he's a high school dropout, you guys. So he actually stopped going to school when he was a sophomore. His parents were so upset. He's the oldest of three. They're like, "What are you doing? You're crazy." And then his parents like, "Okay, you don't want to go to high school? Well, you're gonna go work with your dad." And at that time, his dad owned a carpet cleaning business. So he literally would have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go clean carpets at people's houses. And then so when he was about 17 years old, he found a job at a warehouse, and he was there for 8 years. I'm a college dropout. So what happened, you guys, is I ended up joining Primerica at 22. Nobody in Primerica told me to quit my college. I promise you, they're like, you can do both. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. But once I seen the vision of Primerica, you guys, I made that decision, and I ended up quitting college. All I needed was one more class to graduate, and I didn't. I said, no, you know what? If this is what I'm saying that this is going to be, I'm going to do it. So I burned all bridges, and I ended up going full time in Primerica. The crazy thing, you guys, is that when Max and I joined this business, the guy that was following up with me, he followed up with me for a whole year. 1 year. I wouldn't even sit down with him. I had no idea it was Primerica. All he kept saying was, "It's a financial service company. Please let me just show you." And I'm like, "No, I'm busy. It's my birthday. I'm going to California." Blah. Any excuse you can think of, I will put him off. The way I met this guy is because my friend in middle school, and we had not talked because we went to different high schools, called me up one day, was like, "Hey, my boyfriend is doing this business. Is it okay if I give him your number?" I said, "Okay, sure. Why not?" So he calls me for a whole year, follow up. And I was like, "Nope, nope, I have no idea what you're talking about. Absolutely not." Right. So, anyways, so finally, after a year, I sat down with him. I was so negative, you guys. I literally had my arms crossed, and I was like, this guy is not going to get me. I'm not going to get got. Like, there's no way. Like, this is a scam. I've never heard of Primerica. There's no way people are making that kind of money, right? So my husband, if you one day get to meet us in person, I would love to, is that he's very reserved and very quiet, super quiet, you guys. So when we sat down, he did not say one word, not one word. And the whole time I was answering all his presentation questions, right? And I was like, "Nope, nope, I'm not going to do it." So at the end of it, I did the famous line, "I'll think about it." Right. So then I never thought about it again, but he invited us to an opportunity night. So we ended up going to the opportunity night. I was still negative. And guess what, you guys? Max joined before I did, and I looked at him and I said, "Do you realize we got to talk to people? You don't even talk to me, let alone people, right?" And then he said, "This is what we've been praying for. You're crazy. I know this is it." I asked them if they need a high school diploma. They said, "No, I'm in." He's like, "I don't want to work at a warehouse for the rest of my life." So I said, "Okay, you know what? It's your thing. Don't count me in. I'm not going to do this." Right. So then, you guys, I found out there was Primerica school to go to get your license. So you know what I thought? For sure he's quitting. He hates school. There's no way he's going to continue with Primerica. Well, guess what, you guys? He proved me wrong, right? He proved himself right, because he failed his school 3 times, his state 5 times, and I was negative. He would be like, "Babe, please help me study." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not gonna help you study," because in high school I was a straight A student, and Max was a high school dropout. So he would be like, "You're so good in school, please help me." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not helping you." Thinking back, I'm like, man, I was so negative, right? So then, but when people ask me, how do I turn a negative spouse into a positive spouse? Show commitment, you guys. I would literally tell Max, "Don't go to meetings, don't go to Saturday trainings, don't go to opportunity nights," and he would still go. I think too many times when a spouse is negative, you tell them not to go and they don't go. then in your mind, you're like, see, I knew you weren't committed. Why would I commit to you if you're not even committed? So he showed me commitment, you guys. And that's what made me join him, because I didn't see him like he was like on it. And so once I joined him, I literally quit my job right away. I submitted my IBA on a weekend. Monday, I turned in my 2 weeks. I couldn't last. By Friday, I was already out. Like I told my manager, I'm like, hey, I know I gave you 2 weeks, but I'm not gonna show up. He told me, hey, Vanessa, if you do that, you're not gonna be rehireable at Bank of America. So are you sure you want to do this? My response was like, I'm burning all my bridges. I'm never going to go back. So that will give me a reason why not to come back. And that's how I became full time. I've been full time now 11 years. And my husband's been full time with me 7 years. So that was the beginning, right? So what ended up happening, you guys, is that as soon as we joined Primerica, we won our first company trip, you guys, and it was to Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? So that was pretty cool, to say my first trip was in my own city. And so we joined, and by the time we got licensed to compete in the contest, we had 2 months left. You guys know that most of the company trips are 6 months. Well, we got licensed 2 months before the contest, and we ended up top 10, you guys, in the newly licensed category. Now, in the green shirts, that's when we got promoted to district leaders. I want you to see what we used to look like. It was not an RVP material, right? Some kids, I had red hair, right? And guess what, you guys? Our first guest speaker at the one that we seen was Hector Lamarck. Hector Lamarck is a guy that makes $3 million to $4 million, right, a year. And when I seen him, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? So that was our district promotion. On the bottom, you guys, where I have purple shirt and a black, and my husband has like a white shirt. Okay, that trip was to St. George, Utah. Now, Chris Howard that's our hierarchy, our upline. He has 2,700 agents underneath him, okay? And we had a kickoff for the year, and all of his agents came to St. George, Utah. And I remember in that trip, you guys, we were #1 in personal directs and #1 in personal premium out of the whole hierarchy. And we're 22 years old. That's when we became believers. I'm like, man, we can do this. I literally would look at people and be like, man, they look better than me. Man, they talk better than me, man, right? But then once I seen like we were #1, I'm like, whoa, most people are talkers. And I told myself, I'm not going to be a talker. I'm going to be a doer, right? And that's why I like sharing that picture, right? So then, you guys, we ended up becoming the future, right, in Primerica. And so it took us 4 years to become a regional vice president, right? Not an overnight success. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have the new RVP lanyards, and that's new RVP. We were 26 years old when we got promoted to regional vice president, you guys. To go out to RVPs, we did 35,000 one month and 30,000 the next month. And one of the things I will tell you is that get your securities license sooner, because what ended up happening is that and it's not to scare you guys, right? But I have an A personality, which means action. And my Series 6 took me 6 times. My Series 63 took me 3 times, and my 26 took me 10 times. So I've taken that test like 20 times, right? But I never gave up. I was like, nope, I know I'm going to be an RVP, and I'm going to do it, right? And after you fail 3 times, you got to wait 6 months, right? So that's why it took us 4 years to get to RVP, right? So you definitely just never quit, always keep going, right? And it was so awesome. So when we were 26, we set a goal. We're like, okay, in 1 year, we're going to get the ring. That was our goal. We were focused, right? And I wish I would have thought bigger. Like, why didn't I say in the next quarter I'll get the ring, right? So when people ask me, what's your biggest regret? I say 2 things. 1, not thinking big enough. And 2, not getting my securities sooner. Please, like now, you guys, we just had a district leader get all their security license, including their 26. And now that's all I'm talking about. You need to get your, oh, you want to be an RVP? You better get that securities license now, right now that you're just starting. So then, guess what, you guys? We got our ring 13 months. So even though our goal was 12, we got it in 13 months, right? Well, so we were 27 years old. Now the bottom picture with 4 people, that's our coaches. So that's our upline. Their name is Miguel and Susie Guzman, and they're direct to Chris Howard, which is $1 million earner. Now on the left-hand side where it says MIT, so that's called Millionaires in Training, you guys. So when you're new RVPs, they invite you to MIT, which is only speakers that are $1 million earners. Well, in that class, they'll tell you, okay, so you have 6 months, you're in a competition. Whoever is the top 3 MIT students will come back and speak to the new students, to the new RVPs. Well, Max and I looked at each other. We gave a $15,000 replacement and we gave half of our licenses. I'm like, oh man, I want to be number 1. He's like, all right, let's do this. And guess what, you guys? The next MIT, we ended up being number 1 in our class. So we ended up returning back and speaking to the new class, you guys. And let me tell you guys, in Chris Howard's organization is dominated by men. So usually the man was the one, the one in the field, the wife was doing the office work, the licensing, right? I was literally one of the first women in his organization, in his office for sure, the only one where I was the lead agent and Max was the back office, right? And I was intimidated, you guys, because I'm like, man, all these men, they're just here. I'm the only woman. And my coach, Miguel, will literally tell me, champ, it doesn't matter. When you open your mouth, people need to know you mean business. So if there's no women example in the hierarchy, guess what? You will be that women example. And that just stuck to me. I'm like, all right, cool. So that's where the women era started coming into the hierarchy, right? Because I was it's in the office, you guys. I'm still to this day the only woman that was the head, right? Or the one in the field. And so I was like, okay, this is a good challenge, right? So guess what ended up happening? As a woman, I ended up getting pregnant, right? So I got pregnant when I was 27 years old. We just got the ring and I was pregnant, right? And I remember, you guys, I went to my coach Miguel and I said, hey coach, guess what? I'm pregnant. And he looked at me, and you know how most people are like, congratulations, that's so awesome, that's such a blessing. He looked at me in the eyes and he said, champ, being pregnant is a blessing, not a disability, right? And I looked at him, I'm like, why is he saying this? He's like, because most people will use that as an excuse why they're not winning, but you need to use that as the reason why you're winning. I'm like, all right. So guess what ended up happening, you guys? When I was 8 months pregnant for my oldest, which is Penelope, 8 months, I was due in 4 weeks. I wrote the most personal premium I've ever done, which still to now is my record in the company. I wrote 24,000 in personal premium that month. I was 8 months pregnant. And then I gave birth. I gave birth on a Thursday. I was out of the hospital by Saturday. By Monday, my baby's 4 days old. I'm on KTs, on kitchen table appointments, because I wanted to be an example. I wanted to be like, hey, and guess what? I cried the whole way to my appointment. I had Max FaceTime me, and I was looking at them. I was looking at him and my baby, and I was crying. And then Max said, babe, stop crying. He's like, she's not gonna remember, she's 4 days old. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I'm just being so emotional right now, right? And yeah, and then I went to the appointment and closed. And so then what ended up happening, when Penelope was 3 months old, I get pregnant again. I have Irish twins. So what that means is that they're born within a year. So they're the same age for a whole week. And none of this was in the plans, right? And so the same thing, you guys, I gave birth on a Sunday. I went home on Monday. By Tuesday, I was in appointments already with 2 little babies at home. Literally, Max was with 2 babies under 1 year old, 2 of them, right? Like, and because I wanted to take everybody's excuses away, right? Because before, people used to be like, oh, it's easy for you. You're a girl and you don't have any kids. And then bam, I had 2 kids back to back, right? And it's so awesome, you guys. Now they're 5 and 4. Well, since their birthdays are so close to each other, every year we go to Disneyland, and our budget is $10,000 cash. And I try to spend it all, but Max is like, if we don't need to spend it all, we don't need to spend it all, right? And the reason why I share that is because most people wait. They use credit cards for these kind of trips, you guys. And we literally don't take any outside trips of Primerica into our kid's birthday. We only take one outside our kids, and it's like in December because that's their birthdays. And other than that, we literally don't take days off or 24/7, right? Like, and obviously, whenever we want a day off, we just do a contest around it, right? Like, let's say we want to do this and that. Like, we've done trips to California adventures, and I'll tell the team, hey, team, if you do this, this, and that, let's go to Cal right before COVID, right? And then, bam, we would take a 1 day trip and then come back, right? So it's just so awesome to see to do those kind of things, you guys. So this is where we grew up, you guys. So in the British pinkish house, that's Max's parents' house. In that house, you guys, we got recruited. You see that window? That was the garage that got turned into a room, and we were living in there. So when we were 22 years old, we lived there. They recruited us in that house. I recruited people in that house. I did premiums in that house. We did barbecues in that house, right? Because I always tell people, it's not the nice cars we're driving. It's not the house that we live in. It's your vision. I would always tell people, man, and obviously I back then I'm like, man, I'm so embarrassed. And I'm like, no. I'm like, people are gonna know my vision. People are gonna know where I'm going. People are gonna know what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter what I drive or where I live, right? So then from there, we ended up going to this other house. We upgraded, right, on the brown house, and it's not even an upgrade, right? But we ended up being roommates from and with our friends, and we lived in the garage as well. Guess what, you guys? In that brown house, we ended up becoming RVPs. In that brown house, we became $100,000 earners, literally. And guess what? When we had barbecues, now I'll be like, oh, let's go to a restaurant, let's go to a park, right? Because we were roommates. And I'm telling you guys, people don't care where you drive. People don't care where you live. People care where your heart is, where your vision is, where you're gonna take them, right? So I learned that very early on from Art Williams and these amazing leaders, right? So we've never, right, we've always rented, right? And then guess what? We got an opportunity to buy a house, you guys. This is our first house. I mean, how awesome is it that we can say this is like, okay, so it was a 1 story, 4,000 square feet. We lived in a half an acre lot, right? And this is our first house, you guys. And this is the inside. Max decorated the whole thing, right? And we decorated around our team colors, right? And then this is his car, which is a Hellcat, is the fastest sedan, right? And it has like 705 horsepower. I try to ask him questions so I know about his car, right? And guess what, you guys? We actually just sold our house, and we sold it because we asked some of the leaders in Primerica, should we not, right? And guess what, you guys? We sold it for over $1 million. And it was all because of Primerica. I mean, how crazy is that we lived in $1 million home, right? And it's just so awesome to have those opportunities, you guys. And then this is some of our amazing teammates, and we have all walks of life, so many goals, so many dreams, so many women now, right? And I always say, if there's no story like yours, who cares? You create your story and you're going to inspire somebody, right? And that's why I always tell our team, look, somebody's going through what you're going through worse and still winning. And if there's no story like yours, you create your story and you be the inspiration for other people, right? And then I wanted to share this, you guys, because obviously I told you guys it's not even about the money and all that, but it's what money can do for you guys. So in October of 2019, we were able to buy Max, his dad, a truck, a brand new truck. His dad, prior to me buying this buying this truck, he had a 2001 Chevy, all beat up, crashed, paint all over it, right? I always say he had the ombre look, but that was not the look, right? You don't want that in a car, right? Where it's faded, right? Like, And this is his reaction. So it is in Spanish, but I want you to see his reaction. He had no idea that we bought him a brand new truck. So I hope you guys enjoy it. ¿Estás cerrada la puerta? Ahí. Surprise, Chato. Sí, compramos una troca. Es para ti. Es para tú. Give it to him. Surprise! Surprise! You guys, that's priceless, right? Like, this is why money can do these kind of things. You guys, I promise you, like, our parents are not more important than you guys. Like, literally, like, he kept crying and crying, and he was like, no, are you sure? Like, this is my truck? I'm like, yes, this is your truck. Because his parents, since day one, you guys, have been the most supportive people. Literally the most supportive. Anytime we need babysitters, they're there. They're on ask us, like, literally, like, since day one, they said, if you want to do it, right? And man, you guys, like, literally, he bragged about us to his family. They put it on Facebook. They did all kinds of stuff. They're like, oh my goodness, like, still to this day, he's still in awe. Like this is my brand new. I've never had a brand new car, truck, nothing, you guys. Man, that you can do that for your family. And guess what? That moment when I seen him crying, tears, all the no's, all the dark houses, everybody that quit on us, meant nothing. I don't even remember. It was priceless, you guys. So I hope I inspire people, and if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them. But you guys, I'm telling you, it hasn't been easy, but it's definitely been worth it.
Oh my gosh, Vanessa, that was incredible. Tears are coming out of my eyes seeing your father-in-law doing that. Being Mexican, it's like, oh, you just feel it, man. I loved it. Question: are you guys Atlanta Falcons fans?
Yes, my husband is actually. He's a big fan.
Then he and I need to connect. I'm from Atlanta originally, so that's my team.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Let me just tell you this. That was freaking incredible, guys. And if y'all want real quick, we're not going to hold you up too much longer. If y'all have a question, put it in the chat real quick so she can see that. I think my biggest question for you from the VP standpoint, we're at this point where a lot of the partners that are on this call, they're all married. They all have spouses that are generally the lead agent. But we've got this fire underneath. Oh, no, I can't say I. They have this fire underneath them where they want to be not the head of the team, but they want to be equal. They want to daggum take their business to the next level. How does your partnership work with Max and that? Because again, it seems like you're the A-type personality, but how does that I guess that balance of roles kind of work in your partnership?
So it developed, obviously throughout time, it evolves, right? And it changes, right? So in the beginning, you guys, Max held the job. He held the job for 5 years until I built it. Yeah, it was 5 years or maybe 4.5, but he literally had a job. Like, he was the breadwinner, right? And I was building it. I was taking us to the top. And then after he quit his job, you guys, literally, and I know that's why I always tell people, like, ladies, I am so proud of you that you want to go out there in the field. You can do it. I promise you. Because and it doesn't matter what society says. Guess what Max was doing? Everything to give me he did everything to make sure I was in the field. He did the laundry, he did the cooking, he did like in the cleaning in the beginning when we were broke as a joke. He did everything. He did the office work, he did licensing, whatever he did for me to prospect, for me to be on the field, for me to do my fast starts, or everything. And then guess what? Once we started making money, then we hired a cleaning lady every week. Somebody comes, cleans our house. And then guess what? Now that we make money, now we have an office manager, right? So now his role is 100% licensing. Literally, that's his focus. That and me, I'm the prospector, I'm the closer, I'm the recruiter, I'm the one that gets somebody off to a fast start, right? So anything's possible, ladies, especially if he's the lead agent already and you going on the field. Man, that's so, you're just gonna double up in everything that you do, you know. So I know one of the questions is, I don't know if that answers your question, Miguel. So in the beginning, he held a job. So that was his role, is just make income, give us above water. And then after he quit his job, he was the office manager. He cleaned the house. He did laundry. He everything to give me, like, for me not to do anything and just be in the field. And then once we started making money, then we hired somebody to clean the house. We hired obviously to take care of the kids. And all he does right now is licensing.
That's incredible. Okay, so it seems like Joanna asked, what books helped you the most?
Okay, that's a great question, and I love that question. So basically, you guys, the first book, because just I don't know, most people in Primerica stopped reading in high school. That was me. I The first book that I recommend to anybody, because it's the first book I read in the business, and it blew my mind, is called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It literally took my head, shook it, and put it back. Like, that literally changed my business. And I'll tell you guys this. In the beginning, I would hear leaders, I would hear all kinds, right? You need to read, you need to read. And I'm like, in my mind, literally, I'm like, I don't need to read. I don't need to read. So I literally did not start reading until about maybe 5, 6 years ago, and I regret it. Right, man, I wish I would. Now I'm obsessed. Like, literally, I read about 1 to 2 books a month, because I know the faster I change, the faster I get to my next location, my next destination. So that's the first book. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I promise you, you will not regret reading that.
That's awesome. I've got a couple other people sending me questions, or they're trying to write them while we're waiting on that. I've got another question for you, just as being a partner. Do you, because I think my partner was asking this question to me earlier, is how do you, I guess, as a lead agent, mom, and it sounds like now you're hiring help to kind of help lead the household and not really have to deal with all the monotony of life. But what about digressing? What do you feel like is a good way for maybe the women to help understand, whether they're the lead agent or the partner? What do you think would be the best piece of advice where they can get on the same page with their spouse on building wise?
Okay. So one of the things that, because we have a lot of partners in our base shop, and in our hierarchy, we have 2 RVPs now. And that's why, we're on the run for SVPs. But one of the things that I will tell you guys, that it will either kill you in the business or make it in the business, is partnership. Because not only do you have to be in the same page, you have to be in the same sentence, in the same word. You can't just be in the same page, you guys. I promise you, the more aligned you guys are, the better. And I'm telling you this because I've seen people leave the business, or I've seen them, worst case, get divorced. And I don't like seeing that, because I don't want nobody to get divorced, and I don't want nobody to leave the business. But if you're not, just, you have to be in the same sentence, in the same word. And I promise you, the more aligned you guys are, the better.
That's awesome. Do you see that next question that Ashley asked?
Yes.
That's a big one.
Okay. So I will tell you guys this. Okay. So in the beginning, I felt super guilty, right? Because I was a new mom. I didn't know how moms, like I would see moms like for example, breastfeeding, right? Like that was a big thing. I was so hard on myself because I would be in appointments, then I wouldn't be able to breast or pump or whatever, and I felt so guilty. But one day I looked at myself in the mirror because I was depressed. I was crying because that was a big thing, right? Like to me, I felt like if I wasn't breastfeeding, I was a bad mom, right? Like in my mind. But I was so wrong, right? So the way I felt not guilty, you guys, is that I said the sooner I get the job done, the faster I can provide the life that my kids deserve, right? And so I was like, okay, obviously my kids were born in the business because I wasn't in the business before I was a mom. So I said, okay, my babies are little. I'm like, I want to do it now. I want to, and how much grateful I am because literally, like, I am so grateful. Now, guess what? They're 5 and 4. They ask for bigger things. They know now. And so when I leave, I always tell them, I don't say I'm going to work. You know what I say? I'm building a business. So now they know when mommy's not home, she's building a business. And then when they start crying, then I say, oh, remember those toys you wanted? Remember that toy we just bought? Guess what bought it? Mommy's business. That's daddy's business. That's Penelope's business. That's Romeo's business. So if I don't go build a business, you're not gonna have any toys. They're like, and then they're like, okay, mom, bye, mom, bye, see you later, right? Like literally. And then I tell them, I'm like, okay, if mommy does this and this and that, then on this weekend we're gonna do this. And now then I don't feel guilty at all. So my job is to get results so we can have a fun weekend. Which fun weekend, literally all we take off is Saturday nights. Other than that, like I go to church Sunday mornings, I go to church Wednesday nights, but other than that, it's Primerica 24/7.
That's good. That's good. I think we're going to just ask two more questions. Just one thing on this part. As the lead agent, where do you balance that quote unquote family time? I mean, is it just you're so used to Primerica as a kids? Because my kids are the same way. It's just like, come to the office, let's go to work and just figure it out as we go. Or do y'all schedule that family time in there?
So one of the things I actually don't believe in balance. I know people look at me so weird, and it's just my perspective on this. So I don't believe in balance because I believe you need to be exceptional no matter where you're at. So for example, if it's church time, I'm at church 100%. I'm not paying attention to my phone. I am at church. If we're gonna go out with the family, 2 hours, I am with my family. I'm not on my phone. I'm not right. But then the rest of the time, Primerica, right? Primerica, and they know that. Like Max, or whatever, or if they're with grandma and grandpa, they don't call us, right? Unless it's an emergency, right? But they know to call Max, right? Not me, because I am focused on the business. So my answer to that is whatever time you allocate, right? Is not about, oh man, I gave more time to Primerica. Oh man, I gave more time to God. Oh man, I gave more time to my kids. You know what? You give them quality time, not more time. Quality moments that they're gonna remember, moments that, right? Because if you're just here at the house not doing nothing, they're not gonna remember that. But if you're like, oh, let's go to an arcade, let's go, to the park, let's go, right? And that, even though it might be 1 hour or two max, they're gonna remember that 1 or 2 hours.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And let's just let's wrap this up with Ashley's last question is, what advice would you give to a couple who both want to be in the field but have young kids and regarding balancing homework, family time? I think you kind of answered that one actually right there.
Yeah, so basically just find like whatever time, like put it in your schedule. Chris Howard have always taught us that, like if you have to help out with homework and family, like during the day, schedule 1 hour, and that 1 hour, that's all you do. But then bam, you go back to it. I heard this from Tanya Poe. You don't take days off, you take hours off, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, like it's no days off, and you just take hours off, and then you just, but schedule it. Schedule it, put it in your schedule, right? Because I always say you can manage time. You know how people say manage your time? That's impossible. How? You can't stop time and you can't forward time. You manage activity. You manage what you're doing. You manage your schedule, right? Not time. You schedule your activity. Whatever the activity is, prospecting, making calls, homework, family, all that, schedule it.
That is fantastic. Listen, I appreciate everything that you just brought to the team today. Guys, she can't hear you, but give her a round of applause. You did a freaking fantastic job. Vanessa, we are on fire to just continue to see you and Max grow along with Penelope and Romeo, right?
Yes.
Boom. And the one thing I love about our businesses, we continue to grow as friends, and our kids will eventually meet each other. They become friends. And dadgummit, you see my little one coming in the room. Thank you. But at the same time, Vanessa, we appreciate you. If you will, forward me your office address. We want to send you a gift, and we'd love to send something out to you guys. And as we continue to become more successful, we look forward to just kind of building bonds and going on those company trips together and just kind of growing from there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you remember this, Miguel, but we met you when you were 18 in Florida. And I don't think you remember because it was a company trip and we were behind you. They were going to draw us. You know how Primerica does the cartoons, right? And we were in front of you. And you were hilarious. I remember you told us, you're like, man, I'm getting ready, for my speech. And we're like, you're going to speak up there? You're like, no, I'm going to do a speech in my room. And we were just laughing.
Wow. That is something I would say.
Yeah. And so we definitely, seen you grown and we're so excited. You guys, I promise you, follow what Miguel is telling you and his wife. The number one thing I will tell you is be coachable, because even if you don't like what your coach is saying, trust me, I don't like 100% what my coach is saying, but I know that my team will do what I do. So if I want my team to be coachable, then I gotta be the most coachable person. So I absolutely love you guys, and I'm sending you so much love and blessing, and I hope nothing but the best for all you ladies. I promise you, you can be on the field. You can be, take your partnership to the next level. Hey, nothing said that you both can't be in the field, right? Do it, and guess what? As a woman, I honestly believe we can close more than men because we're more emotional. We can connect with, the wife or when you're across the kitchen table, and we can be like, look, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. We take a lot of emotional load for the family, right? So I promise you, the best thing you can do is be in the same word as your spouse.
Wow. Phenomenal. And let me ask you a question, Vanessa. Do you mind if I upload this to our YouTube channel?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, perfect. I'll send you the link for you to share with your awesome team also. But you are phenomenal. We appreciate you guys. And again, don't forget to send me your office address and we'll send you a gift.
Thank you so much. So appreciated, but you don't need to. And I love you ladies. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to ask them about Erica. I'm going to ask them about Jade, Ashley, right? Brittany, Christina, Juana, and Flo, and Sushma. Is that?
Sushma, you got it right.
I got it. Okay. Yeah, that way I'll be like, okay, I can't wait for you ladies to be RVPs, right? And I'm excited. Let's follow each other on Instagram. That way I can, cheer you on in your success in Primerica.
You are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye, ladies. Love you guys.
Thank you, Vanessa. Have a great day.
Okay, you're welcome. You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.